Hello everyone, my name is SolarFury and today, y'all know what it is, we are back playing some more Clash Royale on the channel. Super excited to be back with you guys. So guess what it is, guys? It is balance change time. Balance changes should be rolling around at the beginning of next week. And currently I am going to predict what I believe will be the next balance changes, or what I believe at least should be the next balance changes, because sometimes Supercell doesn't do what the community wants. But this is going to be my predictions on what I believe are going to be the balance changes. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I have 4 cards that I believe need to be nerfed, and 5 cards I would like to see receive a buff. So let's go ahead and get right into it with the nerfs. Alright guys, so the first nerf that I have is going to be to my man, the Lumberjack. Now guys, the Lumberjack, I love the card so much, but going up against it, facing it, it's just such a pain to deal with, you know? I would like to see a slight decrease in hit points. Currently the Lumberjack has hit points similar to that of a Valkyrie at around 1200. So I would like to see the Lumberjack have a slight decrease, maybe like a 5 or 6% decrease to the hit points. Nothing to the damage or the rage or anything like that. Just I think a slight decrease in damage to the Lumberjack would allow it to, you know, kind of take a chill pill in the meta. Maybe let the Mini P.E.K.K.A. or Night Witch service back into the meta, which would be really, really cool indeed. Alright, next card I have on my nerf list is going to be the Baby Dragon. I had this in my last list, and I'm still sticking with it. Again, I love the Baby Dragon so much, but it is really the only viable splash card in the entire game, and I don't think it should be like that. There's like over 30 cards in Clash Royale that do splash damage, including spells and troops, and with the Baby Dragon really being the only one that's used competitively on ladder and in grand challenges, that really shouldn't be the case. So I believe the Baby Dragon needs a slight health decrease. I believe its damage and splash radius is fairly balanced, but I feel like it just has a little bit too much health considering the card itself. Alright, next nerf we got. It's going to be the Furnace. The Furnace is definitely the most widely used building across the entire game. It is just so strong right now. You see Furnace in pretty much every single archetype. You can see it in Beatdown. You can see it in Bridge Spam. You can see it in Control. You can see it in Cycle Decks. Freaking Furnace can be literally everywhere. So I believe the Furnace, it needs a slight health decrease to the point where it spawns one less wave of Fire Spirits. I believe that would make it a lot more balanced, because those Fire Spirits chipping away at your tower over time, they can do a heck of a lot of damage. No cap. Alright, so that's it for the Furnace. Now the last card I believe needs to be nerfed is my favorite card in the entire game. Well, my second favorite card in the entire game, but it is the Golem. Golem is the tankiest tank in the entire game, and we're not going to change that. I believe that the health for the Golem is perfectly fine, but we are going to change how much death damage it does. Currently, the amount of death damage it does is equivalent to one of its attacks. I believe that those numbers need to be separated a bit. We're not going to buff the attack damage, but we are in fact going to nerf the death damage by, I believe, about 7 or 8%. I just feel like the death damage for the Golem is a little bit too much. I still love the fact that the Golem has death damage. I just believe it needs to be a little bit, just a little bit less, you know, turn it down a bit with the Golem. Again, I love the Golem so much, but I believe that the death damage just needs to take a chill pill, you know. Alright, so those are the 4 nerfs that I believe need to happen in these balance changes. Next up, we got the buffs. Alright guys, so the first card that I believe needs to be buffed is a splash damage card, which is my man, the Executioner. Right now, the Executioner currently in the game ain't doing too hot. It's really viable in only 2 decks, which are Balloon Cycle and Hog Exinado. So I would love to see a buff to the Executioner. I remember when the Executioner used to be straight up broken, but now it is straight up just not viable. So I believe the Executioner, it needs a faster attack speed. Mainly not like the time when it takes for the boomerang to be thrown out, but I guess for the time it takes for the boomerang or the axe to come back. So I'd like to see a faster return time. I guess that's the term for it. I don't know the exact term, but that's what I'm going to call it. Just basically make the axe swing faster, so that way it can come back to him quicker, so he can do more DPS. So that's what I believe needs to happen to the Executioner. Next up is another splash damage card, but a very different splash damage card that harnesses the power of geometry. And this is the Magic Archer. Magic Archer did receive a buff a while ago, reverting the nerf that it had to its initial attack speed. But I believe the Magic Archer, it needs a bit of a damage increase. I believe at tournament standard, the Magic Archer only does 96 damage per arrow, and I would definitely love to see a buff to that. I believe buff that by 5 or 6%, and you got yourself a dang good legendary card. Magic Archer really is still good. It's just a very high skill cap card, and I believe adding some extra damage to it would definitely make it more viable in the meta. It's such a fun card to use. I just hate seeing it to the point where it only has like a 2% usage rate inside of the entire game. So yeah, that is the Magic Archer. Next up is got to be the Cannon Cart. Currently in Grand Challenges, the Cannon Cart is in the bottom 3 in terms of all cards, in terms of usage rates and win rates. I believe it only has like a 30% win rate in terms of Grand Challenges, which really ain't that good, guys. Cannon Cart definitely needs some help in the meta, and I believe making its attack speed even faster is great. I love the health where it's at. I like how it dies to lightning. It's a positive elixir trade and you get a building out of it. I think that's pretty dang cool. The health is fine. It's just the damage and the attack speed that needs some help. Actually, no, not even the damage. The damage on the Magic Archer is perfect. Or can I speak? The damage on the Cannon Cart is perfectly fine. I just believe it needs a bit of help with the attack speed. I believe the attack speed currently is 1.3 seconds. Maybe make that 1.2 or 1.1 seconds, and you got yourself a very good card in the meta. Next up is a card which is only prominent in one singular deck, and that deck itself is sort of dying, and that is P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam with the Battle Ram, and this has got to be the Royal Ghost. Royal Ghost, again, very fun card, very unique card in the way it works and how it's like the only card that can, you know, turn invisible. It's very interesting, the Royal Ghost is. So the Royal Ghost, I believe it needs a buff to how fast it turns invisible after, you know, striking a target. I believe that currently is at like 1.5 seconds or something. Maybe tone that down just a little bit, maybe like 0.3 or 0.4 seconds, and I think that'll help out the Royal Ghost a lot. Again, it's a 3 elixir card, it does splash damage, it can get so much value, and I think doing this to help out the Magic Archer would make it even better inside of Clash Royale. Alright, the last card that I believe needs a buff. And then I have 2 cards I believe need a rework. So let's go ahead and finish out the buff really quick. So this is the Bowler. As you can see from the gameplay in this video, the Bowler is somewhat ineffective, you know. It's a 5 elixir card. It dies to rocket, you know. It's a pretty decent card. It's really only prominent in Splash Yard and this particular balloon deck right here. So I believe the Bowler, if it were to have a faster attack speed, you know, with the knockback that it provides to cards such as the Battle Ram and the Lumberjack and stuff like that, if you make it attack faster, Splash Yard will definitely become more prominent, which will also be an indirect buff to Graveyard. So I think that the Bowler could use a faster attack speed. Alright, now we have 2 cards that need to be reworked. I've talked about these before, but I'm going to talk about them again because clearly Supercell doesn't listen to the community. So the first one is going to be the Elite Barbarians. I know that the Seth, his name is, he's like the main balance change guy for Supercell. He has mentioned that the Elite Barbs will be changed eventually, but I'm still waiting for that, Seth. I want those E-Barbs changed soon. I would like to see a buff and a nerf to them at the same time. I'd like to see a buff to where they only cost 5 elixir, but I would like to see a nerf to the point where they have a lot less health and they output a lot less damage. I think that would make them fairly balanced, or, you know, you can just always do something else. Just don't do anything stupid to the Elite Barbarians and break them again, or not again, just don't keep them broken, you know, because E-Barbs are so broken, especially on ladder. At tournament standard they're bad, but on ladder they're just insane, especially when they're over leveled like at level 13. So yeah, fix the E-Barb, Supercell. Now next one is going to be the Night Witch. The Night Witch has been in the game for a while. I remember when the Night Witch, it was the best card in the entire game upon its release into the game. It used to spawn so many bats. It would spawn 4 bats upon its death, and it would spawn bats instantly when it was entered into the arena, and it would spawn bats like every 5 seconds after that. So the bat accumulation was even more than it is right now, which is absolutely crazy to me. So for the Night Witch for a rework, I think we need to buff or nerf the Night Witch to cost 5 elixir, but revert it back all to its original stats, where it had like the same spawn rates, it had the same amount of death damage, or same amount of death spawn bats. You know, it spawned 4 bats upon its death, and, you know, spawn bats every 5 seconds. And I think just increasing the elixir cost by 1 will help balance it, but also bring it back to glory. Night Witch is really only prominent in Giant and Golem beatdown decks, and I would love to see it resurge back into the meta, because the Night Witch is my favorite card in the entire game. It was the first ever card that I unlocked from a draft challenge. It was a 12-win draft challenge back in the day in like 2017, and I was so proud of it. And the Night Witch, you know, it's such a good card, at least in my opinion. My baby is so good in the game. A lot of people don't think so, but I think so. So yeah, that's what I got for the Night Witch, and that's it for all the balance changes I have, guys. We got 4 buffs to the, or 4 nerfs to the Lumberjack, Baby Dragon, Furnace, and Golem. 5 buffs to the Executioner, Magic Archer, Cannon Cart, Royal Ghost, and Bowler. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these balance changes. Also, leave a comment down below, maybe what you guys would balance in the next balance changes. I definitely would like to hear your guys' opinions. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And also, if you are new to the channel and you like what you see, please be sure to hit that red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. But anyway, guys, this is SolarFury signing off. Peace out, guys. Have a nice day.